we're going to be starting our Possum crochet kit. We're going to start with the very first round one. What you're going to need right now is your white yarn, your hook, and if you didn't come with the kit, it's a 5.0 millimeter hook, and your stitch marker, which is the safety pin looking thing. Our very first round is 6 single crochets in a magic ring. Although there are alternatives to the magic ring, I'm going to be showing you magic ring here, but there are also slower videos and the alternatives on our YouTube channel as well as our website, Lousy Llama Creations. I'm going to start by holding my tail of the yarn, which is where it's cut. Mine's coming out of the middle, which is where most of the kits are like. You're going to place your end over here, and you're going to wrap the yarn behind your hand and over to create an X. You're going to take your hook. I hold mine more of the knife grip, although there's also the pencil grip. Again, there are more videos going into that. But right now, you just want to hold the hook however you're comfortable. I'm comfortable with the knife grip, although my fingers do something a little different than most. I'm going to start by placing this under the first arm of the X. I hold it in the middle with this hand, just so it stays secure. And I'm going to push it all the way over. The actual crochet hook is a hook, and so we're going to use that to our advantage. I'm going to turn this and scoop the yarn under. And then I'm going to shimmy my hand out, kind of hold it, pull up my yarn so I can tighten it. And don't worry, we're going to go through this again. But once you're here, you're going to want to pull a little bit of the yarn through the loop. This is called a chain, used in one chain. And that would be your magic loop or magic ring without the single crochet. Let's show that again. And if you want to undo it, you simply have to pull out your hook and pull, and it comes apart. So I have my dead end over here, my tail, wrapping behind the hand to form an X, and then pinch in the middle. Take your hook, go under, and then over, and you're going to turn your hook so it scoops the yarn through. And here I kind of hold in the back, and I shimmy my hand out. I shimmy my fingers around so I can pinch it. I pinch right at the base so it's easier for my chain. And I do one chain. Okay, that's how you do a magic ring. Now let's add our 6 single crochets onto it. To do that, you're going to take your hook and you're going to go under the 2 pieces of yarn. And then you're going to tighten it with this finger. There are a lot of different ways to hold the yarn. I do it by keeping the yarn over here and then around my index, although some like to wrap it around the pinky, and there are a lot of different variations. But right now, I'm placing it under my 2 loops, and I'm tightening this so that this is nice and secure. You don't want it too tight that it can't move, but you just want it nice and snug. And here, we're going to do a yarn over, which simply means putting the yarn into the crochet hook. Yarn over, and then go under the 2 loops. So you have 2 loops on your hook. And then you're going to yarn over again and pull through both. And then do that again. Do it for a total of 6 times. Go under both of the strings, yarn over, pull through so you have 2 loops, yarn over, and then pull through again. As you can see, it's a little difficult with the white yarn, but I have 2 stitches. So I'm going to repeat this 4 more times so that I have 4 single crochets. This is my 3rd one. And then my 4th one. 5th. And if you're having some difficulties, you want to make sure that you're turning your hook so it slides under. Now you have this wonky thing. You're going to keep your hook in and pinch right here, and taking our tail, we're going to pull it through so it actually makes a ring or a circle. And that's how you do a magic ring, which is the first round of the possum. With our stitch marker, we're going to put it in the last stitch that we made, which was stitch number 6. And part of a stitch is that we have 2 loops. It creates a V shape or an oval. This is stitch number 5, but this is 6. And we want to take our stitch marker and go through both of those and then close it so it's nice and secure. And I might tighten it a little bit. We're going to embroider this at the end, so if it's a little looser, that's okay. But you can play around with your tension a bit right there. All right, I'll see you in the next video for round 2. All right, so our next round, round 2, is single crochet round. And that means right now we have 6 stitches, and at the end of the second round, we're still going to have 6. So we need to place 1 single crochet in each of the 6 stitches. To do so, we're going to work our hook under the very first stitch. As you can see, I'm kind of using some force and I'm wiggling, but you want to make sure you get it under both of these loops. I'm going to pull it out so you can see it again. It's on my hook. I'm going to play around the tension and tighten it a little bit. I'm going to go under both of these. And if you're unsure what stitch this is, you can always count. We know this is 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And the single crochet you did in the magic hook loop, we're going to do the same thing here. Yarn over, shimmy your hook through, so you have 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through both. And then we're going to go to the next one. Insert your hook, yarn over, and pull through, yarn over, and pull through. That was number 2. And we know this is 6 from round 1, so we have 1, 2. And we're going to do this for number 3, which is the same thing we've been doing. Then 4. Then 5. And now we're on the stitch marker one. You have 2 options. You can do it with the stitch marker in it and then move it after, or take it out. To show it a little easier, I'm going to keep it in right here. I'm just going to flip it to the side, then insert my hook, yarn over again and pull through both. I'm going to unclip my stitch marker and then, try not to throw it everywhere. And then you're going to move it to the last stitch that you did, which is right by your hook. And now you just completed round 2. If any of this is going too fast, feel free to keep on pausing and rewatching the video. Also on our YouTube page and website, Lousy Llama Creations, there are more tutorials for the basic skills. We're trying to put it all together for the possum. For round 3, it says we need to do an increase 6 times. To do an increase, we have to place 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So right now we have 6 stitches, and at the end of this round, we're going to have 12. So we want to insert into the next one. If you're unsure, this is not going to be it, because if you pull your yarn over, you can see that it's still attached. So you're going to insert it into your very first stitch. And remember, if you need to count backwards, you can. Do our single crochet. But then we're going to do another single crochet. So in the same spot, right next to the stitch you just made, insert your hook, yarn over again, and that's how you make an increase. And so we're going to repeat that all the way around. So in the next stitch, I'm going to do an increase. here's single crochet 1, single crochet 2, and then in the next stitch I did 2 single crochets again, and again, and again. And now we're at 11 stitches, but we still need to have 12. So we're going to shimmy our stitch marker over here and insert into the same one and just do our increase. So there's 1, and then 2. And I'm getting my yarn ready. I'm going to unclip my stitch marker and move it to the front. As you can see, our circle is starting to look bigger. Now that you're a master of single crochets, let's go on to round 4, which is single crochet round. So we're going to make 12 single crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, and I'll continue to 12. When you're doing it, make sure you're still going up under both loops, because that's how you do a full single crochet. All right, as you can see, I took out my stitch marker before I did my last one. That's what I normally do, but sometimes it's easier for videos to leave it in. It doesn't matter which way, as long as it gets back to where it's supposed to. So now you can see it's starting to make a dome shape, which is going to be our possum nose. My tail from my magic ring is on the inside. If you have it like this, you're going to want to flip it around, so we're going the right direction. There's also a video on right versus wrong side of crocheting. My hook is still here, and I can play with my tension, I can move it. In the next video, we're going to go over round 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's continue with round 5 of our possum. Round 5 is single crochet, increase, and repeat that 6 times. If you're wondering what that looks like, we're right here. So you can do single crochet, increase in brackets, repeat 6 times, which means we're going to repeat this 6 times. So what does that mean? So we know how to do a single crochet. So in the next stitch, we're going to do 1 single crochet. 1. And we know increase is 2 single crochets. So not in the same one, but the next one, we're going to do an increase. And that's what we're going to repeat. So that's 1 and then an increase for a total of 3 stitches. So we're going to do it again. And the next one, we're going to do 1 and then an increase. And then we're going to do that again for a total of 6 times. So you have 12 stitches. Alrighty, so we have to do one more. So on my last 2 stitches, I'm going to insert and do 1 single crochet. I'm going to move my stitch marker over, insert, and then do my increase. And take out my stitch marker and then move it to the top. We'll now have a total of 12 stitches all the way around. For round 6, we need the single crochet round, which is what we're a master at doing by now. So here I am tightening, and I'm going to place 1 single crochet in each stitch around, so at the end I'll still have 12 stitches. And here's our last one, stitch number 12. Taking out the stitch marker and moving it up top. For round 7, let's bring the pattern over. Round 7 says 2 single crochet and then an increase. Repeat 6 times. So what does that mean? 2 single crochet is not the same as increase because they're going to go in different stitches. So we're going to start and we're going to do 2 single crochets. Here's single crochet 1, and then the next stitch, single crochet 2, and then our increase. So we just did 4, 1, 2, and then a double or an increase. And we're going to repeat this pattern all the way around. 1, 2, increase, 1, 2, increase, and I'm going to repeat that a total of 6 times. And our very last one, oops, see my loop fell out of my hook. That is no big deal. You just want to place it right back in. And here's 1, 2, and then increase. And then I'm going to move my stitch marker up. All right, so now we're definitely starting to see the dome for our little possum. In the next video, we're going to do round 9, 10, and we're going to learn how to switch colors. Let's do round number 9. You're probably getting pretty familiar with the pattern of this by now. 3 single crochet, increase, and we're going to repeat that 6 times. After that, we'll do a single crochet round for round 10, and then we'll switch to gray yarn. So we're going to insert our hook, and we're going to do 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and then an increase. So there we have 1, 2, 3, and then our increase. And we're going to do this 6 times per usual. 1, 2, 3, increase, 1, 2, 3, increase. And I'll repeat that all the way around. Alrighty, and then on my last one, getting some more yarn out. 1, 2, 3, and then our increase. Awesome. Now you should have 30 stitches, excuse me. 30 stitches. My count in my head's a little off. We're going to do our last round of white, which is single crochet round for round 10. And remember, this is just placing 1 single crochet in each of the stitches so that your stitch count stays the same. What's cool about this round is that we're actually going to do the very last stitch differently because we're going to change colors. And I'm getting there, probably working a little fast. Remember, if you need to pause the video at any point, go ahead and pause it so we can match up in our timing. Alrighty, so I'm on my last stitch, my one that has my stitch marker. I'm going to take this guy off so it's a little easier to show. I'm going to start it the same way I start my single crochet. I'm going to insert, yarn over, and pull through so that I have 2 loops. Then I'm going to take my gray yarn, find the middle, and instead of yarning over with whites, I'm now going to yarn over with gray. So I have my 2 loops. I'm going to place my gray on here. I'm going to pull it behind, and this is my new working yarn, so this is what I'm holding. And I'm going to pull through. And then I'm going to take the white from the back and kind of pull it a little bit so it's a little bit more snug. And that's how you do a color change. So for rounds 11 through 25, we're going to single crochet 15 rounds of gray. Let's do the first one. Because you have your color change, you don't need your stitch marker because we'll be able to tell pretty easily. Let me show you. So right now, if the first one's a little hard, you might want to start pulling on your tail of the new color. Yarn over. Here I like to pull again. And yarn over, just like you would do normal single crochet, but you might have to play around with the tension in the back. So I'm going to single crochet all the way around with my new gray color. My white's still attached. We'll cut that in a little bit. If you're doing something like a bee where it has multiple color changes but it goes back to the colors, you can leave it attached and pull it from the back. But because we're completely done with white, we're gonna cut it and leave it. almost there. And you can see I have 3 more white, so I'm going to do 3 more gray. Awesome. Now I have my first row of gray. Let's deal with this white yarn so we can get out of the way. I have my scissors. I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail, a couple inches. This guy's gone. Now, you can't just leave it. It's totally secure to do that. I get anxious about that. I like to make sure none of my projects are going to come undone. So with the tail of the gray and the new tail of the white, I'm just going to do a square knot. Not super tight because you don't want to pull your stitches, but nice and secure so it doesn't come out. So when you work in crochet, the stitches start to create a spiral. So if this is our last stitch, the next one will be over here and then over here, and it will continue to work that way. Because we want a clean color change, we're actually going to not use our stitch marker. And for our second round, which is round 12, we're going to single crochet all the way around, and we're going to continue to line it up with our first color change between white. If you don't know what that means or that was confusing, give me 1 second to show you. As you can see, I'm not using my stitch marker. I'm crocheting all the way around, just like I did before. And I'm trying to go fast because I'm trying not to make any cuts in these videos because I want to show you every step of the way. Alright, I can see the end in sight. If you're wondering what I'm doing when I pull it off camera, I'm pulling more yarn out of my ball of yarn. I like it kind of dripping on the table or my lap because I think it's easier to work with, so the ball doesn't go everywhere. Alrighty. Okay. So here I am finishing up the row. And now, you see the color change was right here, a little bit of glare. I want to match up here. So every single time, I'm going to go up to the color change. And you're going to continue that for a total of 15 rounds. So I'm going to leave you to do that. You're going to just keep on going and going. If you need to know how to count, it's going to be each one. So this is our first gray one, and then our second. It lines up exactly how you would expect it would. Alright, welcome back. You should just finish row 25, which is our whole body. Here's my color change at the bottom. As you can see, if you go straight up, that's about where it is. It just has to be close. If it was over here, you would notice when you'd sew, but it's not too big a deal either because we finish in gray. For other ones like the bee with the stripings, you're gonna see it. Now it's time to attach the safety eyes, which I think is one of the fun parts. I pulled up my loop a little bit and took out my hook. I'm going to take my stitch marker and put it on my loop and then tighten it. Now it can't come undone. I like working with this a little bit just so I know that it's not going to come undone. Alright, on our lovely pattern, it says attach safety eyes between row 7 and 8, about 10 stitches apart. So I'm going to put this at the bottom, so my color change is at the bottom, and I'm going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm going to move down. I'm going to insert an eye. this is not secure, this is not everywhere, because I haven't placed the back washers on yet. So I want to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, and I'm going to look at it. I want to make sure it's in the same row. I want to make sure it's even. He looks incredibly adorable. Now I'm going to attach the backs. Remember, these guys are not attached, so they can fall out. You probably want to hold it a little bit. When you attach the back washer, you want to make sure if this guy, you want it up so it's nice and smooth. You don't want it this way because then it comes undone. So you want to keep it like this. So I'm going to insert it in. I have it on the back of the washer and push. If you need another video on this, I attached safety eyes on another video to a flat object. That kind of shows the back a little more, but you can't really see it on this guy. But he is nice and tight. See, they're not coming out. Alrighty. He looks incredibly adorable right now. Let's talk about some decreases. I'm going to pull this back up, take it off, and put it on the last stitch I made, and then insert my hook back in. Next rows are decreases. This says 3 single crochets and decrease instead of increase. Repeat 6 times, and as you can see, our stitch count is going down. So, I'm going to start with single crocheting 3. 1, 2, and 3. But now, instead of an increase like we've been doing, I'm going to do a decrease. And this is going to help it so it closes up. Okay, to do a decrease. Again, there are videos slowing this down a little bit more, but you're going to insert your hook, you're going to yarn over and pull through, just like you would a single crochet. You got 2 loops. And then, without finishing, you're going to go to the next stitch, insert, yarn over, pull through. So you have 3 loops. And then you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. That's how you do a decrease. So because we had to do this 6 times, excuse me, I'm going to do my next 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. And here's another example of the decrease. Insert, yarn over, pull through, insert into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through. So you have 3, yarn over, pull through all 3. And we're going to continue that total of 6 times so our stitch count ends up at 24. Here's 3. Let's do a decrease again. 1, 2, 3. Decrease. 2, 3. Decrease. Last one. If you get to this point and you notice that your stitch count must be off because you did your last 3, this will be a decrease combining the 2. If it is different, that is okay. You're just going to continue normal. You can either only single crochet 2 or single crochet 3. It's okay if it's a little different. Because it's closing up at the end, it really doesn't matter as long as this gets shut. So don't stress. In the beginning of crocheting, you're going to make mistakes. It takes a lot of practice, and that's okay. If you have any specific questions, you can always reach out to me or comment on this video. I'm pretty good about responding to everything. Make sure your questions get answered. Next round of round 27, 2 single crochet decrease. As you can tell, this is the same pattern that we did for increases, and that's because we want it to close down the same way. So that was 1, 2, single crochet, and then our decrease. And you're going to repeat that 6 times. So I decrease, 1, 2, decrease, 1, 2, decrease. And if you're curious, I totally say this in my head whenever I'm crocheting. I count, I go 1, 2, decrease, and I just repeat the patterns when I crochet. And don't worry, as you get more practice in with crocheting, you'll find you'll do it in your head and you'll be able to watch TV and have full conversations when you're doing it, and you'll be a counting master. For decreases, I like to take out my stitch marker. Makes it a little bit more room. Make sure I grab it evenly. Put my stitch marker back in. Awesome, we're starting to decrease. Next video, we're going to talk about stuffing and finishing up the body of your possum. Alrighty, let's stuff this possum. So it says save a small amount for the feet. It says stuff firmly, save small amount for feet. So I'm going to pull some to the side just so I have those for the feet. And if you want, you can pull this and then take out your hook. It's another method, just like putting the stitch marker in there. This gives you some more room. So when you stuff, you do not just want to shove this whole pile in. You actually want to separate it into smaller clumps. This creates a fluffier look. Then you insert it one at a time. And you kind of place it around, trying to shape it and inserting your fluff. In our crochet kits, there is extra fluff, so if you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be this stiff, it's too strong, whatever, no big deal. Don't use it. Save it for another project. Stuffing doesn't go bad, and it both uses more than you think, but a little goes a long way. Alright, I'm going to continue. Okay, you're going to want to stuff this firmly, but then you're going to continue to stuff it as you close it. And sometimes the stuffing gets in the way when we're closing it. That's okay. You can pick it out at the end or try to squish it down so it's not in the way. Oh, he's starting to look good. He's starting to look like a little pill bug. I think that's going to be good for now. The next row is single crochet decrease. So I'm going to put my hook back in and then tighten it. Push this down a little bit so I try not to pick up the stuffing, although sometimes it's inevitable. 1 single crochet and decrease. And we're going to repeat that a total of how many times? 6 times. You guys already know how to do this. I'm sure this is coming a bit repetitive for you. And I hope after this project you continue to learn crochet and check out more patterns and kits, and I hope you gain a new hobby after this. Crocheting has been so fun for me. I've been crocheting since I was 14 and I'm now 21, which makes me feel kind of old because 7 years is a long time. But it's brought me a lot of joy and a lot of fun, and I love sharing all my creations. If you don't already follow us on all of our social medias, we are on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and of course YouTube. So if you want to hit the subscribe button, it really helps. Oops, my count's off. This is why I don't talk and do it, but that's okay. Let's show how to deal with mistakes. My count's off. That was a single crochet. Here's a decrease. But now I have 1 stitch left. That's okay. What I'm going to choose to do is completely ignore it. So I'm just going to move my stitch marker to the one I just did. Decreasing really isn't that big a deal. If you're increasing, you might want to fix the pattern, especially if it's not your last row of increase. But I like to think that it doesn't really matter. It's crochet. It's uniquely you. Next row is decrease 6 times. So no single crochets here. We're just going to decrease 1, 2. This one you might want to tighten a little more. if you're having some issues with that. 3, 4, 5. Oh, see, ended up working out. Ended up being the right stitch count at the end. And that happens more than you would think. My last one, 6. Okay, if you want to stuff a little more, here is your last opportunity. I like his butt a little firmer, so we'll tuck that in, but I think it looks pretty good. Now you're going to cut about, be honest, I probably do a foot, but you probably only need 6 inches. You're going to cut off your yarn. This is now extra yarn for future projects. You're going to take this, and you're going to pull, oh my goodness, maybe, now pull all the way through. This is called fastening off, and that's not going anywhere. But you have a hole. No issues. Grab your tapestry needle, and you're going to put your tail on the tapestry needle. And you're going to do something called a cinch closure. For a cinch closure, you're basically going to go in and out of your last row, row 29. You're going to pull through. So in and out around each stitch. If you skip more or add a few, that is a-okay. Again, crocheting does not have to be perfect. So I did that about 3 or 4 times, and I'm going to pull it closed. And I like to add a knot right at the base of it. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to stick it right near it and poke it out somewhere else. Take off my tapestry needle. Here it is. Take my scissors, pull it, cut. If it sticks out a little bit, you can just stick it in with your scissors. Look at that, we finished the body. Let's put the nose on. So I'm going to take a strand, 3 feet-ish, and cut it in my pink yarn. I'm going to put it on the tapestry needle. All right, this is the bottom. So what I like to do is a little further down, I like to stick it in. And this is the bottom of where the nose is going to point. You're going to sew it about a triangle. So here it is. I'm going to leave this down here, and I'm going to hold it so it doesn't slide out. And now we're going to embroider the nose. You can do it however you like, what other techniques. If you're a embroiderer, and you're like really good at thread, you might have different techniques. I am not. I'm a yarn person. So this is what I like to do. I'm going around row 1, which was your magic rings. And I like to go in and out, making a triangle, ovalish shape. You can do it as much or as little if you like. If you like a big nose or a small nose, this is your possum, and they're all going to come out uniquely different, which makes it so fantastic. Alrighty, I like how that looks. He's looking cute. Okay, so now I'm going to stick it near it, and you don't have to come out the same hole. I'm going to here, just because I think it's a little easier, but seriously not a big deal. And I'm going to cut this. And now I'm going to shove this in. I don't want to cut this like the other one because I want to make sure it doesn't slide out. The other one you already fastened off, but this guy doesn't. If you cut it, this could come unraveled, but probably won't. So I stick it in. Alrighty. Look at that. Next video, we'll do the nose and the feet, and we'll finish up the possum. I want to start with being honest with you guys. Black yarn is not the most fun to work with, but it'll come out beautiful, and I believe in you. You just might have to turn on a little bit more lights, go to a bright room, and figure this out. For the ears, we're going to start it the same way with our magic ring, like we did when we started the body. Hold the tail, whoa, make an X, under, over, and pull, shimmy, shimmy, chain 1, and then we'll do a 6 single crochets onto it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Alrighty, then you're going to tighten it. And then this is the fun part. You just have to fasten off. I leave a long tail for sewing. Makes it a little easier. Fasten off. Bam! There's one ear. I'm going to do that again for my second ear. Hold X, X, under over, pull through, chain 1, and then 6 single crochets. 3, 4, 5, 6. Tighten, cut, pull through. Now you have 2 little ears. We're going to set those aside because we're going to embroider and sew them on later. Let's work on the feet. And you're going to start it the same way. Do a magic ring. If you see me doing the back of the hand, I'm doing the same thing. I just have more room over there. So it's the same thing we've been doing. Chain 1, 6 single crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and tightened. Black yarn, a little hard to see the stitches, so you're definitely going to want to use your stitch marker, put in the last stitch you made. This is just like the body. We're going to start the same way. We're going to do 6 increases. Remember, the first one's a little hard, you might have to wiggle. Do 2 single crochets in the same spot for an increase. 1, 2. And we're going to repeat this 6 times for a total of 12 stitches. This is 3 and 4. 5 and 6. 7, 8, 9, 10. See, I got a little hole. I'm going to pull my magic ring tail a little more. 11, 12. I'm going to move my clip. Round 3 is single crochet round. So I'm just going to single crochet 12 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Cool. Leave a tail for sewing, cut, pull through. Now I'm going to trim this middle tail, not too close, but it'll be easier for sewing. You can use this as extra stuffing or extra projects, or just throw it away. And you're going to make 4 feet total. Alright, let's crochet our very last part, which is the tail. You're going to start this way different because it's not a circle. You'll be crocheting like you would a rectangle. So you're going to start by making a slip knot. I like to hold it here, grab it, twist, pull, like that. It should come undone when you tug it. Again, there are slower videos on this page where you can make a slip knot, insert your hook, and then pull, and you want it to be snug, but not too tight. You're going to chain 16. So you know how we pulled through our yarn for the chain 1 of the magic ring? It's similar. We're just going to do it 16 times. So we're going to pull through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And that's called a chain in crochet. It's kind of the foundation of most crochet that's not a circle. So this is our first chain, and this is our second. For row 1, it says in the second chain from the hook, single crochet 15. So I'm going to insert through both loops, and I'm going to make a single crochet. There's 1. And we're going to continue that, so we have 15. So in the next chain spot, there's 2, here's a third, and you're going to do that till you have 15, and you have like a skinny rectangle, or as I like to say, the perfect possum tail. If you need more information on this skill, there's a video called Crocheting Rectangles and Squares, which will talk more about chains and single crocheting into them. All right, and our very last one. There we got this rectangle. I'm going to fasten off, so I'm going to leave a tail for sewing and pull through. And there you have your possum tail. Next video, we're going to be assembling it all and finishing up the possum. Who's ready to finish up their adorable little possum? Mine's name is Scooter. I'm going to start with the ears. So there technically is a front and the back, although they look outrageously similar, especially in black yarn. But the tail that you fastened off should be on the left side. I'm going to put that on my tapestry needle, and I'm going to sew it on. There are a lot of different ways to sew. It doesn't matter which way, as long as they don't come undone. I'm going to show you how I do it. I'm going to sew it along this color change line. That looks like a good place. I kind of hold it, take my needle, and I go through the row and pull tight. And you know, this other string gets in the way, I'll pull him aside, pull through. And then I'm going to go through the ear and pull again. I'm going to go down through the body and then go through the ear, through the body, tighten it a little bit, through the ear. That looks pretty good to me, but I'll go through the body just to secure it one more time. Oh, look at that. We got a little ear. Okay, you're going to insert through the body, and this is how we're going to hide our tails. Stick it through anywhere and pull through. And you're going to do the same thing with the middle of the ear. Insert through the body. Doesn't have to be in the same hole. And pull through. Going to trim. Then we get these black dots. But that's okay. We're just going to tuck it in. You can kind of pinch and rub. And it's gone. Bam, bam, bam. Let's do the other ear. It's going to be doing the same technique. Line it up. Yeah, that looks about good. Through the body. through the ear. Through the body. And through the ear. That was to the body. Through the ear the last time. Through the body one more time. I like to tighten it just so my stitches don't show, although I kind of like the way it looks. Insert, go through the body, and do the same with the other tail. This is why we want to leave our tails kind of long, just so we can hide them in at the end. Pull through, cut, cut, and push through. Awesome, you got 2 little ears on your possum now. Let's sew on the tail. When we go to the back, we're going to be doing the exact same technique, but with a tail. Put your yarn through the needle. I'm going to line it up like this. Try not to get my fingers in the way. Through the body, and then through the ears. Through the tail. I kind of do mine at the same time, because this guy's a little smaller than the ear. Because of the shape, I'm actually going to do it on both sides. So then I'm going to flip it over, pull it a little bit more. See, he's not really in the middle, but it's okay. It's a possum. For the body and the tail. Body and tail. Body and tail. That looks pretty good. I like it. Gonna insert just like the other ones and go through. And then trim. There you go. Sew on the feet. I want to make sure it's facing the right way. Just put it on your tapestry needle. And you're going to hold it where you want it. We'll go through the body and then through the foot, into the body. And then when you come up, you're just going to go through the foot. This one's a little different. I'm going to push it out so I see where it's going to go. So you're going to take it and go through the foot into the body. And then up only through the foot. I'm going to repeat that almost all the way around, but not quite. I think I'll do one more. Maybe another one. And then we're going to add a little bit of stuffing. Remember that stuffing we saved, that little pile? Pull up a little bit. Just really does not have to be much. You're going to tuck it into the foot. Hold it back down, and you're going to continue sewing around. Awesome. And then my last one, we're gonna go through, out. Oh, that's a hard one. I went through quite a bit of yarn there. And trim. All right, go ahead and pause the video here, and we're gonna do the other legs. The possum is finished. I hope you had a great time making this possum, and I hope you learned a new skill and you learned how to crochet. If you come across any questions along the way, comment on the video or email me. You can also message me through Etsy if that's where you purchase this pattern and crochet kit. I hope you are very proud of yourself for making an adorable possum. If this is your first time crocheting, drop a comment saying this is your first project. I would love to know. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.